Hello, kindergarten. It is time to read a book together, and I have chosen one of my favorites. And oh my goodness, forgive me because I say that about a lot of books, but guess what? I kind of get to choose the books we read in kindergarten, so I just choose a lot of the ones I really like. And this one kind of like moves me to tears. So grab a tissue box, okay, because it is a beautiful story. And this book is called The Mountain That Loved a Bird. Now, friends, before we get started, I want you to do some things. I want everyone to take a deep breath. Kind of relax a little bit, okay? Just kind of shake it out. Feel wherever there's kind of tension in your body. And what happens usually when there's a screen on, I do it too. I kind of go like this and I hunch forward, right, like this, and I'm trying to look at the screen. But guess what? For this one, there's not a lot of pictures, so you don't really have to see the pictures so much. So you can even like close your eyes, just don't fall asleep on me, okay? But I want you to sit back, get cozy, get comfy, maybe grab a pillow. You can hug a pillow. You can kiss a dinosaur. JK. I mean, maybe you can. But just like relax, and I'm going to read this story to you. It's almost like a chapter book. But get ready, it's a little longer, okay? The Mountain That Loved a Bird. I forgot I bought this one for myself. It says Avervort. Now this is written by a girl named Alice McLaren, and it is illustrated by a guy named Eric. And this guy named Eric, I know Eric sounds probably like, hey, that's my name, right? This guy named Eric Carl, he illustrated a lot of books that we know. Brown Bear, so many other books can't think of right now. Let's take a look at this picture. I noticed it's just a very cold looking mountain with a moon or a sun. There once was a mountain made of bare stone. It stood alone in the middle of a desert plain. No plant grew on its hard slopes, nor could any animal, bird, or insect live there. The sun warmed the mountain and the wind chilled it, but the only touch the mountain knew was the touch of rain or snow. There was nothing more to feel. All day and all night, the mountain looked only at the sky, watching for the movement of the billowing clouds. It knew the path of the sun that crossed the sky by day, and the course of the moon that crossed the sky by night. On clear nights, it watched the slow wheeling of the far-off stars. There was nothing more to see. How do you think this mountain is feeling? If a mountain had a heart, can you listen with your heart? How is this mountain feeling? Maybe kind of lonely, right? What happens? But then one day a small bird appeared. She flew in a circle above the mountain, then landed on a ledge to rest and preen her feathers. The mountain felt the dry grasp of her tiny claws on the ledge. It felt the softness of her feathered body as she sheltered herself against its side. The mountain was amazed, for nothing like this had ever come to it from the sky before.
"Who are you?" the mountain asked. "What is your name?"
"I'm a bird," replied the other. "My name is Joy, and I have come from distant lands where everything is green. Every spring I fly high into the air, looking for the best place to build my nest and raise my children. As soon as I have rested, I must continue my search."
"I never have seen anything like you before," said the mountain. "Must you go? Couldn't you just stay here?"
Joy shook her head. "Birds are living things," said the mountain. "Birds are living things," she explained. "We must have food and water. Nothing grows here for me to eat. There are no streams from which I could drink."
"If you cannot stay here, will you come back again someday?"
asked the mountain. Oh, the mountain really wants her to stay, but why can't she stay, friends? If you're a living thing, what do you need? We're living things. We definitely need, at most, water, right? And some place to have shelter and food. And if there's no green things here, right, there's nothing for her to eat. Joy thought for a while. "I fly long distances," she said. and I have rested on many mountains. No other mountain has ever cared whether I come or whether I've gone, and I should like to return to you. But I could only do so in the spring before I build my nest. And because you are so far from food and water, I could only stay for a few hours.
I have never seen anything like you before, repeated the mountain. Even if it were only for a few hours, it would make me happy to see you again.
There is one more thing you should know, said Joy. Mountains last forever, but birds do not. Even if I were to visit you every spring of my life, there might be only a few visits. Birds do not live for very many years. So she's saying, even if I visited you every spring for the rest of my life, it's not going to be that long because birds die, right? Mountains don't die, but birds die. Joy sat very still, nestled against the side of the mountain. Oh, sorry, I skipped a part. Birds do not live very many years.
It will be very sad when your visit stops, said the mountain. But it would be even sadder if you fly away now and never return.
Joy sat very still, nestled against the side of the mountain. Then she began to sing a gentle bell-like song. Ooh, my friends, can you guys try and sing a gentle bell-like song? I think that worked, right? The first music the mountain had ever heard. When she had finished her song, she said, because no mountain has ever before cared whether I came or went, I will make you a promise. Every spring of my life, I will return to greet you and fly above you and sing to you. And since my life will not last forever, I will give to one of my daughters my own name, Joy, and tell her how to find you. And she will name a daughter Joy also, and tell her how to find you. And each Joy will have a daughter Joy, so that no matter how many years pass, you will always have a friend to greet you and fly above you and sing to you. Oh my gosh. Isn't that beautiful? So she's going to have a daughter, and she's going to name her daughter Joy, and she's going to tell her daughter how to get to this mountain so that that bird can still come and visit the mountain so he's not lonely. Isn't that amazing? I just want to cry. Oh my gosh. The mountain was both happy and sad.
I still wish you could stay, it said, but I am glad you will return.
Now I must go, said Joy, for it is a long way to the lands that have food and water for me. Goodbye until next year. She soared off, her wings like feathered fans against the sun. The mountain watched her until she disappeared into the distance. He's got to wait a whole year to see a bird again. Year after year, when every spring came, a small bird flew to the mountain, singing, I am Joy, and I have come to greet you. And for a few hours, the bird would fly above the mountain or nestle against its side, singing. At the end of each visit, the mountain always asks,
Isn't there some way you could stay?
And Joy always answered, No, but I will return next year. Tragic book, right? Look what's happening. It's a big teardrop. Oh my gosh, this is so moving. Each year, the mountain looked forward more and more to Joy's visit. Each year, it grew harder and harder to see her go. She kept coming and saying, I am Joy, and I am here to greet you. 99 springs came and went this way. 99 years, you guys. 99 years. Oh my gosh. On the 100th spring, when it's time for Joy to leave, the mountain asked once more,
Isn't there some way you could stay?
Joy answered, as she always did, No, but I will return next year. The mountain watched as she disappeared into the sky, and suddenly its heart broke. Did you know mountains in this book have hearts? Is that true in real life? No, that's like a fiction thing, but isn't that a beautiful part of the story? You can picture the heart of the mountain. The heart of the mountain broke. Oh. The hard stone cracked, and from the deepest part of the mountain, tears gushed forth and rolled down the mountainside in a stream. The next spring, a small bird appeared, singing, "I am joy, and I have come to greet you." This time the mountain did not reply. I wonder why the mountain didn't reply, friends. Have you ever been so sad that you just don't even want to talk anymore? I think that's what's happening right here. It only wept, thinking of how soon she would have to leave, and of all the long months before she would come again. Joy rested on her ledge and looked at the stream of tears. Then she flew above the mountain and sang as she always had. When it was time for her to go, the mountain still wept. "I will return next year," said Joy softly, and she flew away. Friends, I'm noticing something. What do you think is in her mouth? Do you think it's a Cheeto or a Dorito? I don't know. Let's find out. When the next spring came, Joy returned carrying in her beak a small seed. What does that mean? Oh my gosh. The mountain still wept a stream of tears. Joy carefully tucked the seed into a crack in the hard stone close to the stream so that it would stay moist. Then she flew above the mountain and sang to it, "I am Joy, and I have come to greet you." Seeing that the mountain was still unable to speak, she flew away once more. Oh my gosh. During the weeks that followed, the seed in the crack of the rock began to send down tiny roots. The roots reached into the hard stone little by little, spreading into yet smaller cracks, breaking through the hardness. As the roots found water in the cracks and drew food from the softening stone, a shoot rose up from the seed into the sunlight and unfolded tiny green leaves. The mountain, however, was still deep in sorrow, blind with tears. It did not notice a plant so small. The next spring, Joy brought another seed, and the spring after that, another. She would come and sing, "I am Joy, and I have come to greet you." And she placed each one of the seeds in a protected place near the stream of tears and sang to the mountain, but the mountain still only wept. Oh my goodness. Friends, that kind of looks like my favorite. Look, this is my poster behind me. Isn't it beautiful? That's what it reminds me of. Years passed in this way. The roots of new plants softening the stone near the stream of tears. As softened stone turned to soil, moss began to grow in sheltered corners. Grasses and little flowering plants sprouted in the hollows near the stream. Tiny insects carried to the mountain by the winds scurried among the leaves. Meanwhile, the roots of the very first seed went deeper and deeper into the heart of the mountain. Above the ground, what had started as a tiny shoot was growing into the trunk of a young tree, its branches holding down like gentle fingers, filling and healing the cracks in its heart. Sorrow faded away, and the mountain began to notice the changes that had been taking place. Seeing and feeling so many wonderful new things, the mountain's tears changed to tears of happiness. Oh, he's so happy now. Look at these tears of happiness. Have you guys ever had tears of happiness before? Yeah, I always have. I'm like queen of tears, actually. Queen of tears right here. I tear up all the time. Each year, Joy returned, singing, "I am Joy, and I have come to greet you." And she'd bring another seed. Each year, more and more streams ran laughing down the mountain sides, and the ground, watered by the new streams, grew green with trees and other plants. Now the mountain no longer wept with sorrow. It began to ask once more, "Isn't there some way you could Oh, sorry, I forgot my voice.
Isn't there some way you could stay?"
But Joy still answered, "No, but I will return next year." Come on, Joy. Seriously, look how great this place looks now. I think it's time. But, I'm not a bird. I don't know. More years passed, and the streams carried life far out into the plains surrounding the mountain, until finally, as far as the mountain could see, everything was green. From lands beyond the horizon, small animals began to come to the mountain. Watching these living things find food and shelter on its slopes, the mountain suddenly felt a surge of hope. Opening its deepest heart to the roots of the trees, it offered them all its strength. It's so beautiful. The trees stretched their branches yet higher towards the sky, and hope ran like a song from the heart of the mountain into every tree leaf. That's a great line. Can we focus on that for a second, friends? Hope ran like a song from the heart of the mountain into every tree leaf. Oh, wow. What does she have there? Is it a chocolate Twizzler? I think it's a twig. What is she going to do with that twig? Oh, the mountain's going to freak out. Okay. And sure enough, when the next spring came, Joy flew to the mountain, carrying not a seed, but a slender twig. Straight to the tallest tree on the mountain she flew, to the tree that had grown from the very first seed. She placed the twig on the branch in which she would build her nest. I am Joy, she sang, and I have come to stay. Yay! The mountain gets to live with the bird because the mountain loves the bird. That's why it's called The Mountain That Loved a Bird. Oh my gosh, great book. Are you touched? Are you crying? Are you weeping? That was a great book, friends. Okay, today for your reader's response, you were going to tell me about the characters in this story. Okay, who are the characters in this story? You're going to tell me about the setting. Pretty easy, remember? Twinkle, twinkle, little star, the setting tells you where you are. Okay? And you're going to tell me about an event or your favorite part of the book, okay? I will see you later. Goodbye.